Hi everyone, it is Michelle from That Wreath Lady, and today we're going to do a tutorial on this cute little pumpkin wreath. This is the first time I'm using this camera, so we'll see how it goes. We are going to use several things to make this wreath, so just hang on and I'll show you. This is what it's going to look like when it's finished. And so now is the steps for you to make your very own pumpkin mesh wreath. Okay, this is how we start the pumpkin mesh wreath. I use a half ball work wreath form, and I got this from craftoutlet.com. And when you get it, it's going to look like this. And all you need to do is spread out the little pieces. Okay. And it comes with this little, well actually two of these little metal pieces that you hook in the top and the bottom of the wreath, and I'll show you how to do that. When you get this wreath, it's going to have these, I hope you can see this, it's going to have these little prongs right there, and that's what you're going to attach these little silver things to. So you fan it out like that. And then you're going to attach this with the flat part in the back, and then you're going to push until you get all the little pieces in the hole. And then once you do that, you're going to take these little petals and just bend them down. And that's going to secure and help your wreath to keep its form. Now you're also going to do this on the bottom of the wreath, because you'll get two of these. Again, make sure you flatten it out. Oops, I dropped it. You want to make sure that you flatten it out, and again, you're going to want to secure it. This one's being a little persnickety. Is that going to be good? And again, you want the flat part that's going to be facing the back. And once you get it in there, you just bend the pieces. Bend that piece. Make sure it's pretty snug in there. If you have to work with it a little bit and bend the pieces more, you can do that. And so now this is what it looks like. The back is flat. Pretty nifty, huh? Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hang, this is my lifesaver. This is my work wreath form. I'm sorry, this is my easel work wreath form. And I got this from Ladybug Wreaths, and it saves time, it saves my back. Now you can work with your wreaths on a flat surface, but I like to work with mine at eye level, just because that is what your customers are going to see, and you'll be able to look at it from eye level and get an idea of how it's going to look. So you can use whatever you want. This is just what I use. So I've got my work wreath. I've got all the pieces on it and all flattened out. And so this is what you're going to do next. We're not going to use these twist ties in here. So what you first need to do is we're going to use all the top ones. So I go ahead and stick them up straight. Okay? And you're also going to use the bottom ones. So I go ahead and stick those out as well. I really like to use the work wreath forms. It saves a lot of time. And when you are a crafter, a lot of times you don't consider your time and effort when you're pricing your wreaths. So remember that your time is important and time is money. If you are working a regular job, you would be paid hourly. So you need to take that into consideration as well. What we're going to do now is all these extra little twigs, I'm just going to put them to where they're inside the wreath. You can also just push them up to the side like that. Oh, I forgot to fan one out here. These wreaths are also really cool if you're wanting to put lights in the wreath, and you could attach the lights in there, but I'm just going to show you a basic way to do it. I like to fold them over top of each other because that kind of hides the frame itself. But you don't have to do that if you don't want to. Okay. Now that we've got all the ones we're not going to use all tucked in, and the ones that we are going to use fanned out. Make sure. All right. So the next thing, things are just falling off all over the place, is a 10 by 10 deco mesh wreath mesh. And so that's what I'm going to use today. So you just open it up. Sometimes these things, there we go. This is the poly burlap. I'm just throwing my trash on the floor. I'll clean it up before my husband gets here. The poly burlap or mesh, I think, is stiffer and it's easier to work with, especially when you're going to be doing a pumpkin wreath. So what I do is I'll just open it up and let it fall to the floor. Okay? And then just like regular poof method, that's kind of what we're going to be doing here. So I always start at the top because we're going to be putting some decorations and stuff up here, so you won't see this kind of raggedy edge. So we're going to start on the first side. You still see? Okay. And then just like the regular poof method, we're going to go in and we're going to twist. Okay. And then you're going to gather it. Just like so. Change this just a little bit. Okay. Then you're going to gather it and you're going to take it down to the bottom twist. You can work with it as you go to kind of wrap it around. You want it to be, you don't want it to be real stiff, but then you also don't want it to be really poofy. So kind of in between, and just eyeball it as you go. And then you go down here and you make a twist. And just kind of work with it so the edge part wraps around that. All right. Now the next part. I'm going to open up the second twist and go ahead and secure it. You see okay? And then again, just going to poop it. You may want to twist it a little bit. Let me change that a little. I didn't like which way it was going. Okay, so I'm twisting it up so that the curl is going to go into the work wreath. And again, you're just going to tie and twist. Okay. So then, now you can see that it's curling this way instead of curling that way. So gather it together again and bring it up this side. and then go back and kind of, and just go back and kind of again, make sure that it kind of folds around the bar. And sometimes you have to go back and fix the other pieces. Okay, now we're at the next one, up at the top. And again, you're going to secure it and twist. And then gather. And then we're going into the third twist here. Alright. That looks good. And we're going to twist. And then poof it around the pieces. As you can see, it's starting to make the pumpkin. Okay. You know what, I'm going to twist that one again, so again that the curls are up, and we'll go around. Turn it just like this a little bit. There you go. And then gather, and we're going to bring it up to this one. I think mesh is so easy to work with if you have good mesh. If you don't have good mesh, then it can ravel and just kind of looks a little cheap. So I like the good mesh. All right, up here at the top, I'm going to come in. I like how tight it is, and then I'm just going to put it in a twist. And then we'll go back and fluff it around a little bit. Okay, now we're at the last one. And we're going to secure that in. And then gather. And we're going to secure it into this last piece. Kind of keeps moving on you a little bit, but that's not a problem. And then we're going to twist again. And then go back in and make sure that it's around. Now, this is what it should look like when you first start and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I can see straight through that, I can see all of it. Now we're going to go back through and put in another layer. So, and this one you don't have to be so particular with. We just want to cover. Another thing that you can do if you would like to, and I haven't tried this yet, but I'm sure you can do it, is actually, remember the black pieces that the wires were tied on? You can go in and spray paint them orange, and it will kind of help with them not showing through. And these half ball work wreath forms, they come in all kinds of colors. They even come in the full ball, and you would just open it up the same way, and you could use that to make, because it's got a little circle right here that you could hang it from something. You could use them as floor pumpkins. You could probably, I don't have to try this, you can probably even do like Christmas ornaments with this and make it look like a Christmas ornament either halfway, or do the full one and hang it from your chandelier, or hang it from your Christmas tree. So we've done that, and we're going to go back in and fluff in just a minute. And now I'm going back to this one right here, and we gather. I feel like I should be singing a song with that. And then I'm going to untie. I always have a hard time remembering which way I did the tie. And then we're going to twist and fluff. Again, you're going to do the same thing here. we're going to go into this one right now. Let me turn it around a little more so you can see a little better. And you want to fluff a little bit. If something's hanging up like this, you can just tuck it back down into it. That's why I love working with mesh, because it's so forgiving. Alright, which way are we going here? Okay. Alright. Now I'm going to go back down this one. I'm going to untie this one right down here. Twist again. And fluff. Okay. And then we're going to keep doing that. Just keep repeating that step. And you can repeat this as many times as you want to. If you want your pumpkin to be fuller or a little bit thicker, it's completely up to you. Going up to this top one now. I untwisted this and now I'm twisting it back in. And I'm going in and fluffing a little bit. Okay. Like I said, just keep repeating. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Let's get this over. Okay. Now, we'll do the same thing again. People say it's too early to do fall stuff. It's, oh, what is today? It's August. Gosh, isn't that awful? I don't even know what day it is. It's August sometime. But as crafters and wreathers, we need to be ahead of the season. That's why you will see now at Hobby Lobby, they've got all their Christmas decorations out. They've got some Halloween decorations out, but it wasn't really a good selection, I don't think. I did go to AC Moore the other day, and they had a wonderful selection of Halloween, and it was 40% off. So I thought that was awesome. And again, you don't ever want to buy anything full price. So make sure you can go on the actual craft websites like Hobby Lobby and AC Moore and Michael's and get the coupons, but also check out retailmenot.com because they have some good coupons on there as well. Okay, we're going into this one. It's the next to last. Again, I untwist the top, put that in there and twist it back. I mean, you can have your own thoughts about this, but I like using the wired work wreath forms that already have all the little twisty ties on it. I have tried zip tying, I've tried pipe cleaners, I've tried pipe cleaners and twisty ties and hot glue. I just think that it takes a lot of time and it hurts my fingers to make sure that I get them really good and tight. So I just like to use these. So we're coming down to the bottom. Is my head in the way? And again, twist. And we're going to hide these suckers here in just a second, so you're not going to be able to see those. We're up here. And we're going to tie it in. And again, the reason I like having an easel, because it's easier for you to see where you may need to put some extra mesh or do an extra roll. So what you want to do, and I even go back, and it doesn't have to be up, down, up, down. I kind of look where there's kind of where you can see some, if you can see how you can still see some of the sparkly garland. And then I will just go, I guess that's not garland, is it? It's twist ties. And you just go back in and fill in spots that you really want covered up. I've not used the 21-inch mesh on this. I'm not really sure how that would work. But you never know until you try it. So that could be something you'd want to play with later. I just have never done it. Now I've got some see-throughs here. And so I'm almost to the end of my roll. Again, I just put it up here and twist. It's probably, for you to really fill this up, it's going to take 2 rolls of mesh, but I'm just going to give you the basics, and then you can go in and do more with it. Let's put this here. And I never cut off the ends of my mesh until I am completely done with the wreath. And the reason I do that is in case I do need to fill in some places, or if I like maybe having some of the mesh dangle down. That's just something I do. So I would probably go back through and do another layer, but we're not going to do that today. So now you've got all these little crazy things, and that doesn't look like a pumpkin. All you have to do is put them back up in the wreath. Just tuck them in there real nice. Put some more mesh over top of it. Find where there's spaces in the roll. Mesh and just cover it up. Easy peasy. I can still see that one a little bit. Okay. And then this one. And I don't know why it is, but when I'm making wreaths, when I'm sticking flowers in or doing things like this, I never look at it. It's always kind of like, I just look off somewhere. I don't know why I do that. And I stick my tummy out too. Let me get that in here. Okay. And if you see that there's some sparkles still showing, you can just do what you need to do. Alright, now we can do the same thing with the top, but I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is, well, the next thing I'm going to do is I want to make some little sprigs. It looks like it's coming out from it. So I have this green mesh that I kind of think looks like a leaf. And so I'm just going to give it a cut to cut off that crazy end I just had. Now I'm not going to measure this, but I usually do 10 by 10s. Does that look look 10 by 10 to you? Yeah, we'll say it does. And we're just going to cut. Now, when you have this, it's going to look just a straight piece. What you want to do is take the ends and just kind of pull and twist, and then come to the middle, and you're going to have these cute little things. And what I do is, you want to make sure when you put it in, it goes in like this. So I'm going to put one in one of these little twists, and then you can pull it down. We're going to do another one, again about 10 by 10. Now you don't have to do it on every twist. I usually do 3 or 4. Whoops, that one fell on the floor. Again, it's going to look like this. And you want to take the corners and pull. Maybe even twist a little. And then come down about halfway. And I want to put one in the middle. And just tie it like that. And again, pull. Just like that. Now we're going to do another one. Again, if you want to do more, by all means, go ahead. You don't have to use this green. You could use brown. You could use burlap. Burlap doesn't twist very well, though. I don't think. Again, pull it out. Take the edges, but do a little twist. And then come down. And I'm going to put it over here in this last one. And twist. Put it down in there. And then twist it back. And then pull them. So they're to the front. Okay. That one's being a little difficult. Like having teenagers. They don't always want to go where you want to go. Alright, so we've got that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on my bow. You can use any kind of ribbon. It is best to use a thicker ribbon, one that is wired, because it holds your poofs or your bows or your loops or whatever you want to call it. It holds them better and it just looks more professional. So I'm going to go ahead and make a bow, and then I'll be right back. Okay, while my glue gun is heating up, this is an awesome type of ribbon. I'm trying to remember where I got this at. I think I got this at Hobby Lobby. So what I'm going to do with that, I just want to give it some more pop. So I'm going to take and cut this. Let's see, do we want to do 3? Or do we just want to do 2? Let's just do 2 for now. And I'm just going to cut it. I'm having a time with things falling off my table. So you can do one of 2 things with this. You can attach it into the zip ties long, or you can do it in half. I'm actually going to do it the long way. So I'm going to go back in here, and I kind of want them in the middle. So I'm going to put it right in there and twist it. I'm going to do the same thing with the other. Right here. There I go again, forgetting how I twisted this in. Now, we're going going to use my little trick here. And it'll show you how great it works if I can find it. Yeah. Do you ever have those days when you know where everything's at and then you can't find where you put something and then you're looking for it and you feel like a dork? Oh, that's me. Anyway, you can take that thing that I just showed you. Actually, this is pretty easy. And you can just roll it. See how it makes just a pretty kind of little circle? You can do the same thing with the other. Kind of gives it a little more. And you can add more if you want to. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to start adding some floral stuff into the top is what I want to do. I bought these. Where did I buy these? At Hobby Lobby. $17.99, but of course I got it for 40% off. And what I like about using these big bushes is you can get more for your money. When you just use the stems, you don't get a lot to choose from. You have to buy more. This gives you a little bit of greenery right there, some leaves, a few little berries, and beautiful flowers. So you can use this in so many ways. But you have to understand, you have to use wire cutters with these. So what I do, I want to use this little piece right here. And we'll snip it. And then I am, first before I hook it down, I want to see exactly where I want it to go. There we go. And I'll bend it in just a little, and I like that. I like that a lot. So, get my handy dandy glue gun. Glue gun is your friend. I've burnt myself, I don't know how many times using a glue gun. And I'm just going to put a little strip of glue. There. And then where I had it just a second ago. Now, you want to hold it there until it gets a good hold. And notice I didn't put it in a twist tie. You can do that if you want to, but I'm trying to hide the twist ties as much as possible. So we're just going to go through and add some more greenery.